Hi guys, so this video is going to be on relactation. I will take my glasses off because I know they're glaring, but first I want to be able to read some information to you about the relactation. So, um, a mother who chooses to uh, relactate or to bring milk back after they've stopped breastfeeding, or it could mean increasing your milk supply because maybe you've been separated from the baby, or you're taking a medication that dried it up, um, or you're just struggling with the baby getting enough milk out, or it could be a number of reasons why a mom might relactate. Adoption is another reason. So there could be a lot of different reasons, and so this video, really, it's numerous people who will be interested in watching this. It's not going to apply to just one group of women. So I thought it's a very common question, honestly, that I saw a lot, and I think it's a question that a lot of moms have thought about and considered and didn't know how to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of go over this information with you. First of all, the most important thing is to think about your goal. Is your goal to exclusively breastfeed at the breast? Is your goal to part-time breastfeed? Are you, let's say you're adopting and you want to breastfeed the baby. No matter what the case, well, I shouldn't say that. If you have never breastfed before, or if you have not breastfed in a while, it's not a situation where you're just trying to bring your milk back within a few months of, losing it or it drying up. It can take longer, as well as you may not be able to breastfeed exclusively. So that just means that you're probably going to have to offer supplements as well. Now, I would recommend using a nursing supplement, which is tubing that you would tape to your nipple, and then you would have the supplement of whatever you're using, formula or human donor milk. And the baby's always at your breast, and they're getting that supplement, as well as, making the demand on the breast to make more milk. So you could be doing every feeding at the breast. Even though your breast is not necessarily providing all of the nutrition. But putting a baby to the breast, especially if the baby will suck, is better than any pump. So if you have a baby that will take the breast, go for it. Definitely, get that baby to the breast as much as you can. So that is definitely. Now, let's say the goal is to increase supply. Really, it's the same in the sense that you might be able to exclusive, depending on how long it's been, or what the reason might be that your milk supply dwindled. It would depend on those things. You also want to think about any reasons outside of milk supply that could cause you to have a lower milk or a lower milk. How do I want to call it? Like, just that not as much milk. Your breast can't hold as much milk or something. I'm trying to think the word, but I can't think of it. So basically, you have to realize that there's certain medications that work against milk supply, basically. So like a lot of birth controls will dry up milk. Decongestants, allergy type medicines, those will dry up your milk. A lot of women and mothers don't know that, but that is a highly it's like a really high chance of your milk drying up. It's like a big deal. So you have to kind of figure out why. You will know. Maybe the baby had, my goodness, today I can't think of anything, but the tongue-tied. It could be the baby just was not latching properly, so he wasn't getting enough milk out, which meant that the breast felt it didn't need as much, so it stopped making so much. So it really depends on you and why your milk dried up, if that's the reason you're relactating. So you have to really look at all of those things. And it is definitely possible. I mean, in a lot of cases, even in women who've never had a baby, you could still lactate. It's not as easy. It will take more time, but you will be able to do it. Just realizing, though, that you probably will not be exclusive. Now, that doesn't mean you won't. There could be some cases where you could, but just to, set your mind to the fact that you're probably going to have to supplement, so you got to decide what you're going to supplement with. So you have to consider those things, and you need a very good hospital-grade pump is what I recommend, and a double pump. You want to be pumping 10 to 12 times a day, if not more. You want to try to pump or put the baby to the breast, like I mentioned earlier, 15 to 20 minutes a day, both breasts. So if you're doing a double pump, you get it done in 20 minutes. If you're doing a single pump, then you're going to have to do 15 or 20 on one and 15 or 20 on the other. Typically every 2 hour, I would say every hour and a half to every 2 hours is the best, most aggressive way to do it. What I used to do when my daughter was in the NICU is I would do every 2 hours the whole day, and then at night I would go every 3, just so that I had a little more time to sleep. And when you are pumping, you want to find ways for your milk to let down. So you want to maybe post a picture of your baby. You maybe record a baby's cry if you don't have the baby with you. In a case like adoption, doing things that release the hormone of oxytocin. So you want to do that. Those are some tips, and I have some great information that I will put a link below to for you to check out as well on the best tips with pumping and getting a lot more milk out than just pumping and being done. There's massage and there's hand expression both before and okay, sorry about that. I had a phone call. So those things that we mentioned are something to think about. The baby, how well they breastfeed, or if, like I said, if there's any reason that the way the baby was nursing, or medication you were taking, or something that was outside of just separation or something like that. So it could be we've mentioned a bunch of different things, but just to kind of give you a difference, a tongue tie is one thing, whereas baby sleeping a lot and not eating enough is another, if you see what I mean. And that's what I'm trying to say. So when you're relactating, you have to think about barriers or what caused the milk to get there to begin with. Now, let's say you were a mom who just decided you don't want to breastfeed, and now you've changed your mind. Maybe the baby was born early and you weren't expecting it, and you didn't, you weren't able to build your milk supply, or whatever the reason is. As long as it wasn't something functional, and it was just like something outside that you could control rather than something you can't control. Another possible reason for a milk supply issue could be if the placenta was not completely out. If there were fragments of it left in there. And most moms will know that. The doctors will tell you they didn't get all of it out, that kind of thing. So those will play a part too. So another thing to think about, now these are, okay, now you've decided you're going to relactate, and you've got your pump and you're starting to do what you're doing. You have to think about how the baby's being fed now. So is that baby being fed with a cup, with a bottle, with a spoon? It just depends. And it may sound crazy to you when I say that, but it depends on where you're at. If the baby is born early, then the baby could be getting tube fed. I mean, it just depends on what the baby is, how the baby's being fed. And the reason I say that is the baby going to latch very well? So are you going to always have to pump and then feed the baby through the bottle, or are you hoping to get that baby to the breast? So we need to consider those things. So those can be some factors. Let's see. Using hand expression is really, really a big help, because that's like more of a natural. You're kind of like massaging, it releases the hormones better than a pump. Because when you're pumping, you don't feel like a mom breastfeeding. You just feel like a cow. I've done it. I know it's awful, but when you think about your baby and what you're doing it for, that helps a lot. And so that's why I say we do things like recording the baby's cry, things like that, because you don't want you don't want to your hormones or your feelings to keep you from letting down. So I believe that's pretty much it in discussing the relactation. Definitely get the help of a lactation counselor or a consultant, breastfeeding peer counselor. Usually they work with WIC. Whoever you can get, the professional help from, they can help you weigh the baby, make sure the baby's getting enough, and trying to think practical. Start with 1 ounce to 1 ounce. So if the baby's taking 2 ounces at every feeding, you're going to first start to see if you can do, if you can produce 1 ounce per feeding to replace 1 ounce, and then work your way up. It may be where you just are able to feed once a day or every feeding, but only, for the first half of the feeding. And we need to make sure the baby's getting a certain amount. So they recommend weighing the baby before and after. So what sometimes I'll tell mom is hold the baby, get on the scale, write down the weight and count the ounces, because that's what's going to matter. And then, after you fed the baby, get back on the scale, same clothes, same everything, and weigh the baby then. And a soiled diaper matters, because if they filled up a diaper, that little bit of 1 ounce, a partial of 1 ounce or whatever can matter. We don't want the baby to suffer at all nutritionally. So we know you as a mom feel the same way. So I am gonna post this information in a link for you to check out and research again on your own. And I really believe that it can be done. I've seen moms do it. No matter when you have the baby or if the baby's with you, you can manage it. You may have to get hormones to help with the production of milk if you've never breastfed before or it's been a really long time. But relactation is definitely possible, and I will put down tips below so that you can help with both pumping and relactating. And what I'm going to do is my email's there. Feel free to email me with any questions. If you don't want to comment below, please subscribe. Thank you for watching the videos. In the classes, I will keep, making videos talking about different subjects. And if you have a question and you want a certain subject talked about, just let me know and I will definitely do so. All right, you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.